such and such was standing right there. Guess what happens if somebody but you know it's the fans. Something like if it's the fans, do you tell people to start cutting them off? And 9 times out of 10, and you know that was what water. Then you say something sooner. Y'all picking it right. So get him out. Like, why is it? I've been saying that age was the earplugs. I'm so sick and tired of people not giving me my props. Like, I don't mind if you're fixing the problems or the solutions, but I'm like, also, don't fix the problem and not realize that another one could spawn. Because you tell somebody, oh, okay, well, I got some. Put on your Roku, watch a movie. No, you should have it to where it goes off. You should have it to where your internet is secure. What company are you browsing with? Who's your internet provider? Do they have protection? Do you have Norton security? Do you have, what's the other one? That's just one I remember, schematics. Was it Sematics? Semnatics? Something. I forgot the name of it. Trend Micro? Do you have anything to where you can try to protect your feed? Get you a CD. Not the same one. Mix it up every night. One night you might listen to Beethoven. Next night you might listen to Mozart. You might listen to jazz. And you might only have it on for what? At least an hour to give you some type of variation. So I just thought about some of the stuff. And you start listening to this real, like, hey, it's Girl, you can't break like, even though it's a good song, all right. You wake up and want to start voting, you be like, you get me. Because I thought a long time ago, I was like, even some of the music you listen to, you have to be careful. You start listening to a whole bunch of females, get you a nice, good R&B mix. And that's when I first started realizing something like, hold on. Well, all of a sudden, when I'm talking about, so you can't break my soul. And, okay, good. So your sweetie pop ain't got that thing. City girls rocking and that thing. Let me move. I was like, nah, a long time ago, mix the playlist. And they can't say nothing about my playlist, too, because I used to listen to a lot of, what's his name, Tank. See, I like to, for some reason, I like to say, I think I had a guardian angel watching my back a while ago. He was like, yo, bro, like, this right here ain't a good balance. Even like that El Chapo thing, I listen to that Skrillex all the time. But it didn't really rub off on me, even though somebody else started talking about it. I was like, oh my God. I started listening to a nice mix. When you be in the gym, you're like, I am the, you know, not saying I am. I had to make myself clear, like, hold on, God, I ain't stepping on your toe. It's just a song. Say a little forgiveness. Hey, God, forgive me if you just come out the wrong way, but I'm just in the gym right now. You know, hey, but I don't know. And then running ACs all the time. But then you have to be careful to get you a waterfall, something tranquility. Like, as soon as I said tattoo, I noticed I just started cutting it off more. So I was like, I don't know if they're trying to undo what might be done, which would be a good thing. But then in the same breath, you have to let people control their own vibe, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, and then learn to control their own vibe. Meaning, you shouldn't go to school with, yeah, bust that, shake that, pop that, hey, yeah, bust that. I'm like, oh, well, you went to, because that didn't affect me no more. Like, music wasn't, it couldn't really steer me one way or the other. You know what I mean? It was just like almost like you probably used to could have. Like, if I hear that song, back in the day, I might be like, oh, you know, I'm on it. You know, or whichever way you want to call it. But I don't know, different psychological things I said there, and I'm like, this world has to be ready for it. You know, like even TV. Say like the country's pushing a lot of stuff on Russia. What did you have at first? Russian meddling. Then you had Russia, Putin in this. And then you just tag Putin to Trump. And Trump ain't really going too well in your country. Then you got Putin in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Do you really know what started the war in Ukraine? Or if you hear his name, what are you going to think? But he up to now. When it might be defending his. You know, you never really know until you kind of know, or you kind of in the middle of it. You really never ever no. And so like all that stuff is like psychological. So it's like you almost kind of have to do stuff and try to do stuff in moderation, or at least know when you're affected by it. You know what I mean? I was like, I think when I first came to New York, I said something about the cigarette signs. I was like, why is it like they always sitting there smoking? I was like, oh, cigarette signs right there. Or the trash can, and there was like this ton of litter at the shuttle in Brooklyn. I was just like, dang. Like this big thing that says do not litter. And that's when that's when I started picking up on the different psychological things. I mean, like the station at such and such being dirty. And I was like, it's sad, but some companies have such a big reputation, or not reputation, responsibility to try to educate. You have this mass transit. I was like, I love the way I thought one train they had like the LEDs, and I was like, somebody trashed them. I was like, oh my god, why y'all trash the LEDs at MTA? Please leave them alone. LEDs, but I was like, at least it gives you, windows to things that you might need to try. I think some things are beneficial, like they teach you, like, okay, well, this is a new portal that's given by such and such, and you should try it here, or even little health tips. I was like, even those, I used to watch WebMD a lot. Oh my God. My mom used to look at me WebMD. Because whenever something, oh mama, I think that's such and such and such and such. You know what you do for that? You take this and you mix it with that and you put it in this, and that's actually good for that. Or, oh, I look like my skin kept getting like these. I think I like eczema. I was like, oh, I found out too. I just did it for some reason. I don't know why. My grandma's house, she used to always put what you call in the water. I was like, oh, if you take a bleach bath every now and again, it's actually good for your skin, good for eczema, good for clearing up skin rashes, and this, that, and the third. Another person told me about Neutrogena bath oil. So I started using Neutrogena bath oil. I did the little bend, I did this, and it was like cheap but effective. And I'm like, all these different little things I started doing. Then I started realizing too, like bleach was it was strong as heck. Like you can spray the whole bathroom down with some bleach water. That thing, you even gotta wipe it. So it's like, that was my cheat a long time ago. Before they even had like the spray, was it foam and stuff? I was like, shoot. Stay sure, stick up the bathroom, but come like 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, the whole thing be white as snow. Like, yes. I clean the bathroom. and little stuff like that. And I'd be like, but then also realize there's a bad side too. Like you gotta kind of know the pros and the cons. So I had to kind of tell, be careful and not just tell them the whole thing. Like you gotta kind of pick and choose or know what's going on in your realm. Sometimes it's good to know too, because if you don't, then somebody else finds out, they have the power to alter. That's another thing I didn't like. I was like, if you're doing something and somebody else is that person that told you or that you're learning from, be careful, because there can be somebody behind him that's also learning and can flip it. Or if it's been used on you and somebody sees somebody using back, let them know, because if not, it can be a back and forth. Because the next person, like if I came here and they're like, okay, we realize this happened there, you might want to fix the problem there or go fix the problem. Because if you don't, what can happen, you'll fix it, put them out, somebody else come back in. And I learned that too, because I was like, for the last, I was like, oh my God, like I should be able to I should be able to withstand this. Like this doesn't make any sense why I can't block it out. And I found out what it was. It was that whole privacy thing. I was like, oh, not good. And it was like, I passed this part, I passed that part, but it was that constant. I was just like, okay, this is not going to work. And whereas you're not being truthful and telling, yo, he's good. It's just that we going overboard. It's like that person gets pent up in a corner. And they can also either lash out or go through drastic things that could harm themselves to try to get some basis of realty too. Like, you gotta know what's going on around you. And you gotta know when to actually tell the truth and be honest. Like when I left that apartment, I was like, okay, somebody was talking about money. And I was like, why are y'all acting like you're telling me about money? Is there money somewhere for me? Because you need to take me to it. With all that went on, you should take somebody to it. Because you not is putting me in a dangerous situation with others. Because now I'm semi-aware of what you were doing. Semi. I could be thinking that you're trying to harm me, you're trying to embarrass me, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. So I therefore revert back into a shell. Then I go off or I leave and you're like, okay, he's fine, he'll better make it. And I go into another setting and they know what you did. And then when you're going into that setting, they try to bring it up and they try to and the next thing you know, I either snap or end up harming myself. Not saying that I want to, but you have to know the consequences. And I sat here and started thinking about this, like, why would they be doing this like this? Like, I really don't need that. Now, granted, yeah, I do understand there are different levels and you break them. But in the same sense, you also have to learn when is the appropriate time to pause or seek help. Because nobody should kind of be pushed to that extreme. You know what I mean? Like where you just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. If they can, good. Hey, but if somebody say, hey, we got to pump a little bit, you pump the pressure. Like hit the air brake. Because you don't want to have to hit that ramp, go uphill, slam them brakes and hope that uphill slows you down when you're driving that tractor trailer down that hill or down that mountainside. You don't want to have to hit that when you rather push the brakes while you're on the hill or while you're going down the hill versus going the other way. And that's the way I take from it. You know what I mean? That might not be everybody's way, but you have to be careful. And I went and told him, just be careful, make sure it's from a source and make sure it's from a DVD or a CD, because also you never know what can happen. If it's working for you, let it work. Just be careful. That's all I say. Waterfall. Like how some of the nice homes are like lake fronts, or they're like got space in between, or they got the water flow, or some nice buildings have like the waterfalls out front. I'm like, it's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel it's not fair in some areas that you don't have it. You know what I mean? You're not letting other regions and other places take benefit towards it, towards an oceanfront sound, or towards the country sound, or towards this, that, and the third. You're not letting other regions benefit from noises at night that are like being on a farm. It's kind of like you just be very quiet. Not being very quiet. You be very mindful. You have to let somebody know, though. You know? So like somebody telling somebody to say something every time they pass by the door. I'm like, why are you saying something every time? So you're making me feel more. Are you trying to push paranoia? So somebody like you take ideas, then you are you pushing them on me? Are you testing? Now I'm looking like I was walking at, what was it? I didn't have my phone on, but two brothers. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you? Are you testing it? Or are you trying to make me look crazy? Or seem crazy? Somebody's been calling it out, which is why I started calling it out. Like, oh no, he's crazy. Like, no, you wrong. You know X, Y, and Z. And then you know if something's real and something ain't. Like you can't use somebody and not let them know the truth. That's what sparks. That's what make a good person go bad. Being fooled, being bamboozled, being tricked, being hoodwinked. Like if I walked out this situation and got in my little apartment, and then all of a sudden everybody else keep blossoming and popping it. It's like, dang, what happened? Oh, well, I hit the lottery. I came into a little money. I'm looking around at everybody else like, well, dang, y'all seem like y'all kind of doing whatever. And I was always because you was tired. You was all the way around just doing nothing. No, because I had already done stuff. Or when I wake up, I always do stuff. And I'm like, I kind of already get where somebody's going. It is messed up. Like earlier when I was watching what was Skyfall, I said, oh, watching Skyfall. They start talking about ghosts. It triggered another memory. And I'm like, that's why they start. And then you start, oh, he think he's a, oh snap. He think he's a, he's not. Oh, guys, he's not. He's crazy. It's me. All these good ideas. Joseph right there. He's crazy. Like, no, it's a comment somebody else made that stuck out. It was like they wouldn't even talk that much. And he's been brought up a lot. And y'all bring it up. So you know, and oh, I thought you were. When you came here, you had conducted stuff. Did you used to work for police or some type of agency? And all of a sudden, I'm trying to contact them. So then somebody else can take one little thought and push it on everybody else. Oh, see, we didn't understand. He got pregnant. So you take the plot from somebody else's play and put it on yours. Well, all you did was sit back and watch somebody else's analysis. You take the good information and you try to turn it around like, oh, That's just tough too. What did this other person go through? Like, what did you go through to where you learned so much from something? Did you go through a heartache? Did you do drugs? Did you have a whole bunch of sex? Did you live a day in the shelter? How long did you live in the shelter? How long did you live on the West Coast? How long did you live in the East Coast? How long did you live down south? Have you gone overseas? Have you been around Asia? For lives extended or short? Have you been around Haiti? Do you know Haiti? So it's like somebody go through all this stuff. And that's just really get credit. That's how you know whether it's okay with you. This person is so good. You're doing that, and all of a sudden, or there's some type of thing. That's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure that how somebody else is probably sitting back like, yeah. That's probably another reason why somebody said, oh, I didn't follow him. You've been doing what? You've been following him your whole life. No, this person, I know him better than you know. You probably sitting on my back, long way. Realize the type of person I am. And then come back later on and be like, that made me think. I done sent that into the beyond. I done dead pig. Let him there. How'd you feel when you went through it? Kind of like when I went through the social system. I went here, I went in Atlanta, I went in LA. I didn't stay in LA. I figured out who had a monopoly. I was like, oh, that thing is I was like, and I can that part also let me know another possible trip. I was like, Spanish people have two places on rock. This is not knocking. You got kind of got Florida, you kind of got California. California is more of a progressive. You have some very good businesses. I was like, you can use your EBT card as fast food. That's how progressive it is. You got legal marijuana. You got a lot of immigration. You got a lot of different. You got a lot of different things. And you got a ton of money. You had a lot of different movies, this and that, and this and that, and this, and innovation. You got stuff from the Bay Area. You got people that don't like cleaning up for themselves. You got a lot of opportunity now. And I was like, I also noticed a lot. It was like, big, but you had, when I went to a certain place, I was like, dang, and like, y'all ain't trying to help a nigga. Or y'all help a nigga, but it was some stuff done there, and I can speak on it because I've been there. And even kind of like New York, I was like, I noticed New York. Same. And I was trying to start, what you call it? It's just an obvious observation. I wasn't saying nobody was a competition. I wasn't saying this. I was just saying you have a majority here. And you can tell the trend that's going to come from it. It's not that you've done it personally. It's the way things are kind of set up. noticed that because I read about the black migration or something. And you still would come here, but you got a melting pot. So now you're up in the melting pot. So I was like, dang, why would you, you're in a melting pot. So when you come here, you gotta know your pot. You gotta get your area. Like, I was like, you gotta get your area. You gotta lock her down. I kind of noticed that about certain places here. Like, certain places have like, now I'm not saying it should be like that. It definitely should be like that. But I noticed how certain areas are now. Like, it's almost like you have to have togetherness. You have to kind of, and it shouldn't be like this. But establish yourself. It makes you stack. It makes you this. It makes you support each other. It makes you help relate to each other. This and that. Because and be there for each other. Because if you don't, you start pitting each other against each other and doing this and doing that. I was like, baby, I gotta realize y'all all in it together. Y'all all came from a country looking for a better way, right? So 9 times out of 10, when you're here, you're brought up against your will. So 9 times out of 10, you gotta try to make it work. That's why I started like 2 because I was like over in California, like, smart. Y'all out in the studio. And I was like, Lord, thank God it wasn't like that. It was a studio called This Thing with a Kitchen. 3 people or a family. And I'm just like, well, you got a twin bed, sofa, or you got a twin bed, crib, sofa. And I kind of had like my own, whatchamacallit. They came upstairs to my apartment. They was going to try to date or something. And something got weird before we started talking, which was kind of, that's what let me know somebody was looking around too. So I was like, she's a cute woman. She's actually very cute. But she's like getting her card and cool. I loved her kid. That was my homie. Her little son was my homie. I was just like, something got in the way of that. Like I said, I analyzed everything. And that's when I had the shooting, that's when I had the this, that's when I had the that. So I'm like, but it wasn't like and it's like, oh, she came from New York, female. hard. On my own, I ain't gotta worry about influences like that. I shouldn't have to worry about influences. I shouldn't have to worry about somebody on my back. I shouldn't have to worry about somebody saying anything. I shouldn't have to worry about somebody's psychological pressures that I know about them. I've been through them. They shouldn't happen. They shouldn't be allowed to happen. That's why I look back at it. This was like, yo, what's going on? Like, why she at the window calling out my business? Because I'm gonna stick up for somebody right now. They weren't having to call stuff out. Like they weren't having to say, "Oh, I'm a mind bender. Oh, I have the capability of doing this, and I have the capability of doing that." They didn't have to say that. So while he was sitting in HOA, $5,000, or he still got his benefit, or he got that night. And you know what I heard when I walked through the other property? I was like, wow. Damn, y'all don't like who? I saw the way they kind of look at him. Like, I'm looking at folks like, I should don't know somebody's trouble. That might be all they know. That's why I didn't like people standing outside. I'm like, why y'all bring the people in? You know, so you got these people DL'd up and they homes all the time. Why y'all don't hang with them? Now watch I say this and watch I go. Now watch they hang. So I'm like, that don't make no sense. Like, and then you turn around and put salt on somebody's name, bro. That's why certain things have more respect for me than you, because they're like, and that's what this is the last and final obstacle. I see her tell somebody else. This is your obstacle. I've been, if you notice what I'm doing, I'm trying to breath. And you always have to make sure you're at your point of clarity. I even tried to give somebody a key to the game early. I said it's like a bro, what is it? Like a brotherhood type thing. Somebody else probably I know it's like a brotherhood. Like if people sense and vibes, you don't have to be a mind reader to sense vibes. And why do you think people really don't get mad if I wasn't sending the same of them? I know that's a joke. Did you hear him? Yeah, Joseph. He had on like a too tight shirt with some non-matching pants. Yeah, yeah, that's just Joseph. You know, it's stupid. You have to sit there. Oh, you have to sell one person. You have to kind of. It's probably your moment to stand and be honest. People might not be looking to chastise you. Some people might be looking to thank you, make sure you're all right. And then if I'm in a position where I don't feel comfortable, the things are always putting myself in. When somebody else comes back and somebody else is like, okay, well, it seems like people know either they're gonna try to take his thunder or give it a shine or something happened to where it's tried to tell him. I tried to tell him. I told him, you know, it's just like a logical thing. Like he might probably like you said, might want to use a certain adjective you brought up, which did got brought up. So it's like, right, you go into all this stuff. You go into just the next. And then like if he starts, then he might have went ahead. And you just gotta not that I do competition, but then after you realize how can I better myself as a person, even in a situation like this, some people don't really need to go rock or relate Trust me, if it was, I would definitely let you know. Somebody should let me know. Because you can fly us off the greatest qualities. Food out of my mouth. That's why I had all my channel back in my life. I was always so low higher. My mother told me about that one time. I said, you don't let that in charge. God is your and that's just a mother, I guess. Doing the mother's job is not her training. You know, use your training. No. So nobody go out there, she use that. Yeah. Like, no. Sometimes you are the cause for stuff, especially if somebody tells you that's what supposed to be. Or stop, or do the right thing, be honest, talk directly to me. Somebody might be listening. Don't try to cover up, don't try to blame, downplay. So we're like I think we are in quality assurances or legal is downplay, cover up. You have problems. You speak to any lawyer. You know what? Uh, what's the problem? And then you might want to eat this one and minimize the conflict. Meaning, open the door, say we're sorry, don't drag it out. If you have drug it out, try to minimize that any way that you can. And then maybe smoke at the same time, try to cover it up by saying something more negative or detrimental on the person that is going to analyze the situation and also have fail safes in place because then you're going to really ratchet, which is what somebody would do coming to me like that. Because I thought about it. I started posting conversation. And I started like, I'm not really looking to chill. I'm just trying to really have somebody come over and sit with me. So you start saying, oh, I was smart to see people look at you like, you know, nothing else. And that's usually not the type of person he is if he does somebody. It is kind of extra agency. So I'm just like, you, oh, instead of saying sorry, instead of saying, this is when even if some folks go and they try to get the bag, you can't even come to that too. Like I was like, even if I went to toe with what you call it, I'm gonna look at this like, y'all never, you, when I asked you didn't, I started recording y'all. Long time. You say, oh, was somebody da 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 da. I know when I recorded, so I lost my phone. What you call it? I know I liked it, or somebody shouldn't have had the passcode, or I know I left it, so y'all know where it was, and you know who had it. If somebody's phone, so it's like my days is over. And the sad part is, I'll sit here trying to look out, and you still try to. So then it's like you can't blame. You can't blame nobody. Oh, he still was in it. But when I always, and technically, you came from. So when Shit. Um, be smart with what you do. So that gets thrown out the window. So think about what you say and how you say it and what you say and who you say it to. And heed warnings. And they're like, oh, well, didn't we say? But did not also say somebody's breaking into, somebody's saying come up here again and then laughing when I go up there. Somebody's talking about go here and nothing's there. Somebody's laughing because they brought me outside. Somebody's laughing because I look out my window. So at that point, my fail safes are going to hit. So like just be careful. I hope it's somebody else out there saying like she had I don't really have a problem with X, Y, and Z, but I do have a problem with somebody, hey, I have my back away. Or you trust her. I feel like you sick and that's the term. Somebody barely saying don't. Okay, oh you saying it, how you saying it? Wait, where's that coming from? Is it the same place or something? See somebody else talking about getting somebody arrested, dragging them to that does sound versus calling shut and we're here to help and we're gonna go and you need your shirt, okay, look at your shirt. Get him some shoes. Okay, give me some shoes. Now put that in the corner. Put your face down in it. Try to let me know I don't need with that bitch. Trying to tell me I'm antibacterial for real? Because my face is kind of telling me. When I got in the back of the EMS, I'm like, yo, nobody. I'm like, you know, I analyze error. That's all the stuff up to me is usually taken for legitimate. That's what somebody want to push illegitimate information. Legitimate, I know it's like, oh, I'm in. Must be. Or somebody trying to act like it wasn't from the day girl you cover up. Why you just say something? You know, everybody get over it. Get a man, take sure. I said that. Why you got to? I said it sometimes. You like that, but not. So somebody will get off that. Don't focus on that. Yeah, they're not saying you're gonna get crowned, but they're not saying we in the running for the crown. They're just saying, I mean, like that means at that moment, they don't want to put me there. Yeah. But at that moment, I'm like, baby, right now, and right now, you should be focused on. I was all pressure trying to make sure we all right. even them would have to realize, no, you're not. They're not going to. So somebody just push. Just like you're not gonna go. No, like somebody else trying to play you. Don't be funny. No, I said that person need to stop because somebody else is going to try to, which is probably the actual